Welcome back to our next use case. We have two people from Ordina here today, one online and one pre-recorded and one next to me. Jonas is here, his colleague could not make it today. We will first watch the movie his colleague submitted around the Bill of Materials matchmaker. So let's go.
Hello everyone, I'm Reinoud and I'm here to introduce you the BOM matchmaker. As the name already tells you, it is a very exciting project. We are developing this project at a sports manufacturing company. There we are looking to extract information out of a bill of material in an automatic way. So I'm Reinoud, I work already 3 years for Ordina and I'm very excited to introduce you this project. First of all, I'm going to guide you through to the process we are trying to automate. At our customer, we have a customs department. Customs is responsible for the paperwork that is related to the import and export of the goods. They are also responsible for tax regulations. Taxes are determined based on the type of the good, the clothing in our case. Based on certain attributes, different taxes need to be paid for import and export of the goods. Attributes can be the type of clothing, the color of the clothing, but also more exotic attributes like the length of the cuffs or whether or not the zipper is available or the location of a pocket. Customs will look up information for this classification in the BOM data. The BOM data is unstructured text data. This is being filled in by product developers. It can be very messy and not really coherent. It also serves for different purposes, which is where customs is only one of them. So currently at our customer, we automated the workflow of a customs agent end-to-end. We did this in cooperation with RPA, which is the Robotic Process Automation Department. RPA will start from an article list. This is all the articles that need to be classified. One by one, it will download the product owner sheets. This is our BOM data. This will be given to a Python script, and the Python script will output a CSV file. This CSV file contains all the information that needs to be entered into the SAP system. Then the SAP system connects with other tools and serves as input for the douane and the taxes regulations. So this will be done sequentially, one article at a time. The Python script itself makes use of NLP techniques like bag of words and n-grams. It also makes use of mapping resources of templates in Excel or of regular expressions. However, so this is in place for shirts, shorts and pants. This saves already 1 FTE at our customer. However, the project is not finished yet, and the long-term vision of the project is to incorporate other garments as well, like jackets and polos. For these other garments, images are being used by customs. Customs will look up, like I mentioned, all different kinds of attributes, for example, where a pocket is located. So it will be looked into different image recognition techniques to find these attributes on images. It will also be looked into ways of deploying this solution as an API. So this is the long-term vision for the BOM matchmaker. So as a last slide, I wanted to show you the birth certificate of this project, which is called Miss Classy. So this was my presentation. If you have any questions about this, please reach out on the email below. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.
So Jonas, thank your colleague for his submission. Sorry you couldn't be here today, but we're happy to have you instead. You let me know that you are working on street litter detection problem at the moment. Could you tell us a bit more about that and about yourself?
Yes, I'm Jonas. I work for 6 months for Dina. There I've touched upon computer vision problems like now the litter case. Let me tell you more about the litter case specifically. So it is a project for OVAM. They try to monitor the litter evolution in Flanders. How they do it now, they go manually to a specific location, and there they start counting, okay, there are so many cigarettes, so many cans, and so on. So it is very manual labor, something that's where the costs incur, so they can really try to, if they came to us to really try to automate the system with AI, whether it is possible. So the first part was about a feasibility study. We first had to look into, is it really possible? How much data do we gather? And also a financial study that we could actually be sure that the AI system is cheaper than a manual solution. And now we are building a POC to see whether an AI solution works. So a first initial measurement of 2 fractions or something, and we try to build a model as good as possible to capture those in the street.
Okay, I understand that you probably also have you no longer have the bias of the data collection by automating it. It allows you to have a more accurate picture of the whole street rather than just the worst cases that somebody called you guys to say, hey, there's a litter problem going on here. I guess that's an added value as well.
Indeed.
But when I hear you talk about image collection out on the street, I think about privacy. How does that influence your case?
Privacy, it is a real issue. At first, we didn't think it was that kind of a big deal, as our cameras were pointed towards the ground. So we didn't think, okay, we don't capture any faces. Is it really a problem? But then the legal department came to us and say, yeah, even if you capture a leg with a tattoo on it, they can trace which person it is. So it really was a problem. So also the same with license plates, of course. We all need to blur it. So when we capture the data, we first need to run it through a model, see that all the sensitive stuff is blurred, and then we can store it into a database.
All right, so you have to solve one problem before starting on your real.
Indeed, yeah.
And what were the expectations of the client in the bill of materials? We saw it working through a smaller scale pilot towards evolving towards a more service API oriented architecture. How has the process been with OVAM collaboration? What did they start out with demands from the client?
Really, they came to us and they said, yeah, we want to identify 27 different amounts of litter, and we told them, yeah, let's first try 2. Let's first try that this works, because you can spend so much money on development and you don't even know whether it's possible. So we decided to pick one difficult and one very slightly easier case, and then we can say, okay, this took around this budget, so it took so long, you need to allocate this budget, and then we can say, okay, if you want to do this for 27 frictions, then you need to allocate this type of budget, and then they will see, okay, with this amount of budget, you can attain these results. So the companies do not really think about the differences between a POC and development and production itself. So that's they need to think about it in advance.
I guess it's normal. It is not their core expertise, but it is ours. So the message to the companies listening here is involve companies such as Ordina early enough in the decision process, you would say.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know how much you know about the bill of materials problem, but could you say something about the way it evolved there? Did it start in the same way? How much was the problem scoped before you guys started working on it?
Yeah, I haven't worked on the case, so I only know it high level. So I can tell you what the project is all about, but they were already told it in the video itself. But I don't know the technical details, so I don't know the involvement of that. So.
Okay. Then more in general, once you deploy a solution, there often also needs to be maintained, or it can go through several different iterations. Is this something that is brought up by the client ever in your experience, or is it something that you guys have to also inform the client on the difficulties in maintaining a solution and so on?
Yeah, it's really up to us. Like I said, they come to us with a whole different with the end solution, and we need to decompose it into different problems. First start at the beginning, then go to the end. Maybe it is at the end really in production that it is needed to build an API or something. Because it's really flexible for a specific company when they can choose later, okay, where will we deploy this kind of code? And so we build an API around it, we give it to them, and then can choose where to deploy the code. So yeah.
Okay, so that then possibly is an after service contract or stuff like that. That then remains to be discussed.
Yes.
Okay, let me see what else I had. In general, talking about the OVAM use case, how are you going to bootstrap or start this problem with your initial data collection? Do you just put one truck out there, let it collect some data, do a manual labeling, and take it from there? Or?
Yeah. So we go onto the streets. We try to build a construction on a car that resembles a real garbage truck. So it needs to be at height to have a clear overview. So it was fun building that, and then we went into the street, we tossed some litter around, we had all our fractions with us. And then we start annotating, that's the boring stuff, but maybe later when they decide to move the POC to more productional environments and they want to do it for all those kind of fractions, we could work with third parties or something. So, but now we do the boring stuff ourselves.
I mean, dressing a car up as a garbage truck doesn't sound that boring.
That's fun, but the annotating, that's
right.
less fun.
Okay, thanks for explaining. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.